All right, what up, guys? Welcome to the New American Dream Podcast. I'm your host, George Gibson. All right, got a great show today, but before we get into the show, today, the Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman passed away early this morning. That's when I heard the news. This episode will be coming out a couple days after he's passed. But with that being said, this episode is a great episode today because what him and Black Panther star and Kobe Bryant, what they all left us with is they left us with their talents, their skills, and all these great memories, what they did. But with that being said, this is what I want you to remember. All right. This quote comes from Miles Monroe. The only thing worse than death is a life without purpose. I'm saying it one more time. The only thing worth death is a life without purpose. All right. These guys, man, they truly lived their purpose their entire life. They was chasing their dreams and goals, and they did an awesome job at it. So what I take from that is, even from this episode, once you find your purpose and gift, and you are living your dream every day is a great day because you enjoy what you're doing. Kobe Bryant enjoyed every single basketball game. I'm pretty sure Chad, he enjoyed every movie. He brought us Black Panther, 42, all kind of movies, right? But with that being said, I want you to think about it's people right now that are 80, 90 years old, and they still are living without a purpose. They don't know their purpose, right? So even though these guys died at the age of 43, they still live longer than people that are at 70, 80, 90 years old because they actually live with intention, with purpose, and out of all the money they made, nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about the what they left to this world for us to continue to use today and learn from and gain from. And people forever, but even behind us, will see these movies and basketball games and hear stories about these guys. So with that being said, today's episode, we got a great guest, my guy Jake. He came out of nowhere. I met him, over Instagram, and he's killing the Forex game. He's mentoring, and one of the things we talked about was just basically learning yourself, and changing the mindset. The mindset is so powerful. So when you listen to this episode, I want you to think about what your gifts and your purpose is. All right. So let's get into it right now. Here we go. Peace. Perfect. All right. Welcome to the show. We got Jake Wrobel. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, George? Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes. All right. So this is gonna be a different show today. Tell the people, basically, give us all a little story, like who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. So who am I? Pretty simple. My name's Jake. I played professional rugby. I played international rugby. Went to a big college. I went to Cal Berkeley. Studied a bunch of different fun stuff. Went on an athletic academic scholarship, which was pretty cool. But for me, I went into school. I loved everything that I studied. I focused a lot on like psychology. I focused a lot on philosophy. I focused on some business. I did a little bit of everything. After I was done with college, went and played sports, had a bunch of fun doing that kind of stuff. And then I started myself a little family. I've got a son now. I've got a daughter. And then I was doing really good in the industry that I was in prior to this, right? And what I'm in right now, I'll get into in just one second. But I was in the fitness industry, and a lot of it had to do with, developing other leaders, helping people duplicate what I can do within themselves so they can expand and grow as well. Also helping big companies try to grow their business, try to tidy up a few of the fundamentals on some of the things that they do. But me, what I'm currently doing now is I'm a mentor. So I mentor people in mindset. I also work in the Forex market, so for the foreign currency market. So what we do is we trade foreign currency. A lot of people think it's like investing like the stock market, but there's a big difference between the stock market and the foreign currency market. One of the major differences, like the stock market moves about $25 billion a day. The foreign currency market moves about $6.6 trillion a day.
Jeez.
About a month ago, right? So about 25 times larger than the stock market. But we also aren't impacted by like the economy per se. So for example, you've got stocks for a lot of different places that are just plummeting right now. They're slowly dropping. You know, the value of a lot of different companies are dropping. You know, Louis Vuitton, all these big places are filing for bankruptcy. So the value of those stocks are continuing to plummet. Well, with our business, it doesn't matter which way the economy is going. If the value of a dollar drops, we can make money on the value of something going down. And if the value of that same product goes up, we can make money on that product going up. So we don't have to worry about if it fluctuates because we get paid off of fluctuation, right? If something's going good, we buy it and we make money. If something's going bad or in the opposite direction, we sell it and we make money, right? I mean, we post all kinds of cool charts and you'll see things just going up, 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 and everyone thinks it's good. And then we'll post a chart where it's going down, 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 down. The educated people that know what's going on know that if that, as much as that thing's going down, we're making just as much money as if it was going up.
Wow.
Right. So it's the foreign currency market. It's super cool, but we mess around with digital currency like crypto, Bitcoin as well. But a lot of it just has to do with trading inside the Foreign Currency Academy and then mentoring other people as well, because we do networking at the same time.
Okay.
That's just a quick gist of kind of me and what I'm doing and kind of where I've been prior to.
No, yeah, that was great. I mean, we got a lot of things to dive into because a lot of my listeners, I think majority of them are more real estate instead of stock. So this is going to be a great episode because I always see the Forex and I really don't know too much about it. So this is going to be a great episode. But all right, let's take it from the beginning. Like, where did you grow up at? And like, as far as growing up, what type of family? Were you in an entrepreneur family? Rich, poor, middle?
So my mom's gonna love to hear this little one. So we grew up. I grew up homeless for a little while, poor, not much money at all. I grew up in a very bad area on the West Coast. Not much going for the family. Dad was a drug addict, in and out of prison. Nothing good for him. He's passed away now. Family, not too much going on for them either. So no real entrepreneurial type family members. I was even the first person in my family to go to college. So no even college degrees prior to me as well. So me, it was like one of those things, like what I grew up seeing was failure all around me. You know, it was like, I saw this person fail. I saw this person fail, that the only way getting out of that failure was either you got lucky or you were an insane athlete, you know, and that's what I grew up knowing. And then I watched my mom slowly over time get better and better and better at what she was doing. She continued to grow and I watched her blossom and end up doing beautiful things with herself by the time I was around 15, 16 years old. And I told myself, if my mom can do it, then what's going to stop me? You know, and then I found sports and I was like, you know, I'm going to end up being really good at this. I'm bigger than everyone else. I'm faster than everyone else. I'm stronger than everyone else. I'm like, let's go for it. You know, I'm going to find my way out. But yeah, man, before this, no, there are no entrepreneurs, no college degrees in the family, no business owners, just a bunch of people that were struggling to get by.
Right. So do you, hold on. All right. So, you know, growing up in that environment and not being able to see, you can't see no success around you. Like you said, it's bad neighborhood, it's failure everywhere. What do you think made you think, all right, you say you seen your mom do it, but inside that environment, what made you think you can make it or be successful? Like
nothing.
Nothing.
I'll tell you now, when I first started, it wasn't gonna be one of those things where I thought I'm gonna make it. I was like, I'm gonna get by someday, hoping, you know, I'll live to be old enough to do these kind of things and have my own family. But it wasn't one of those things where I was like, I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna make it. It was like, you know, I'm gonna get by. I'm going to go out and grind and try to do some things that I see everyone else doing. I had no aspirations for the future. I had no major goals to go to college. I had nothing like that going for me in my younger years. It wasn't until I watched my mom start at the very bottom doing volunteer work herself up to some kind of part-time job, to a full-time job, to getting a promotion, to getting a raise, to getting promoted, from going to someone that she worked for the Salvation Army. Someone that rings bells during Christmas time in front of like a Walmart and then picking those kind of bells up, all the way up to running basically from the entire West Coast of the United States. And I was like, if my mom can do that, no education, just pure grind, I was like, then what am I going to be capable of doing as well? You know, so mine came from watching my mom go off and make it. And I was like, she can do it, I'm going to go off and do it too.
Right. And before I started this podcast, I told one of my other cousins, I don't know one millionaire. Like, I literally sat around like, you know, I was 30 years old. I'm like, nobody's in my family millionaire. Like you got, people you suspect, but I didn't really know nobody in my community that was actually a millionaire. So now after speaking to a lot of different people on my podcast, it's like one of the things I heard is you do one step to chase your goal every day. So like say you're trying to buy a house, do one thing towards buying a house every day, and it's like almost guaranteed success.
Exactly. No, I'm huge into that too. So, I study the law of attraction. I do a lot of mindset training myself as well, because like I said, I'm really big into psychology and I'm really big into philosophy as well. So I'm one of those people that knows that, every single day I have to do something to better myself, whether I'm bettering myself from a financial standpoint, I'm bettering myself from an emotional standpoint, or even from a mindset standpoint. Every day I'm doing something that's going to take me that one step closer to getting better, whether it's studying, the Forex market, right? Or I'm reading books. I just hopped off of a call for my, with my little book club, Think and Grow Rich, and we're reading this book together. And we're talking about how are you going to implement what you just read into your daily life, because just reading a book doesn't do anything for you. One of my favorite things from my mentors is that knowledge is power, but knowledge without application is not power, right? Knowledge without application is ignorance.
Right.
Right. So what we're learning is now, go off and read this stuff. Go off and personally develop yourself. But rather than just learning it, you have to be able to apply it. Right. And if you can't apply it, what's the purpose of the knowledge in the first place? So man, every single day I'm like, I've got a checklist. If I were to pull up my screen and show you my schedule right now, you've got personal development, you've got mindset development, I've got meditation in there, I've got ADHD, so it's hard for me to meditate. Right. But my millionaire mentors told me, like, man, you've got to meditate. So I'm like, all right, let's start meditating then. I'll figure it out.
So when you do, since you started meditating, let me ask you this: have you seen any slight difference in your day?
Huge. There are certain things where, like, okay, if I know I'm going to read a book, usually I will stop 2, 3, 5 minutes, meditate before I ever read the book. And the reason why is because I am dealing with ADHD, not to mention a crazy just go work ethic. So when I'm sitting there trying to read a book, my mind wants to go off and say, okay, well, what else do I have to do for work? Who else do I need to contact today? What else is going on inside of the foreign currency market? I've got all these things going on in my mind. I take 3 to 5 minutes to meditate, and I'm not joking. I like Deepak Chopra. He's got this little 3.5 minute meditation video. I go watch that or listen to it for 3.5 minutes before I read. My mind is focused on the book. I can understand better. I can conceptualize a little bit better. Therefore, I know I can retain more, and now I can apply it more. But I've noticed a huge difference just by doing 2 to 3 minutes of meditation. I can't go much longer than that because the ADHD kicks in and I start getting too excited and want to move and go. But I have realized a huge difference just from, a couple minutes.
But that's great that you recognize that, because that's self-awareness right there that you're doing. But like I had to realize, because even me, like I think people with our drive and like we trying to figure it out and make it happen, our brain is constantly turning. So even at night before I go to bed, it's like I'm still thinking about, oh, I coached this basketball game, oh, I'm trying to buy this house, or I gotta mow the yard. So you actually not even resting because you're thinking about so much. So what I do at night is I watch something that's not serious. Like I don't watch Bigger Pockets podcast. I don't watch nothing like information. I try to watch like either Sanford and Son or some like comedy to get my mind.
Take your mind off of it.
Yeah, because if not, like I think you need that downtime just as hard as you grind.
Definitely. One of the big things that we're finding that's really helping me before bed, because in the last couple of weeks, I've really started practicing a few of these concepts, is that, before I go to bed, I give gratitude. I've got a cool little list here of things that I need to do every single day before, as soon as I wake up, and one of the big things that I do is give gratitude. What am I grateful for that day? My kids, my family, my girlfriend, my dogs, my health, my team, my business, whatever it may be. And then I go through and I do the same thing at night. Before I go to bed, I count my blessings. And I just started doing this, but I do know that it helps me relax. And then it also leads me into giving myself affirmations. And those affirmations also help me put myself into that subconscious state where it says, okay, even though you're resting now, your mind is constantly going to be trying to develop itself so that when you wake up the next morning, you're in a better state of mind. Right?
Correct.
I'm learning a few of those different techniques right now, and I'm applying them. And I'll just say in the last 2 weeks, I've noticed a world of a difference.
Hey, look, all right, this is crazy because my listeners, they're like, oh man, I know they're loving this, but they really want to know, like, how is he doing it? What is his business doing? How is he making money? That's what people want to know, right? So, but I can tell right now, like you and me kind of same state. For me to do really good at real estate, I don't have to read real estate books. I have to do other stuff like you said. And that helps my real estate.
Exactly. And that's exactly where I'm at right now. I know that I can go out and outwork everyone that I want to outwork, you know? And I thought that was going to be my way to the top. But then I sat down with these guys that make millions and millions of dollars. And they're like, yeah, you can continue to work and grind, but you're not going to attract the money that you're looking for. And they told me it's all going to come from the mindset. They taught me the law of attraction. And I was like, okay, what I need to do is that for my own growth and my own development, I tried starting on step like 3, 4, or 5, you know, not realizing there was so much that I had to do to mentally, physically, and emotionally develop myself before I could even get to that step 4 or 5, which is just go off and work hard, right? So me, I was like, okay, instead of just work hard, let me take a step back, focus on redeveloping myself, and then that way I can move forward at a much more aggressive pace. Right. With that, you know, I've noticed huge benefits from it. It's become very lucrative for me, whether it's in Forex, networking, or mentoring, right? But in regards to how we make money, I mean, we trade inside the foreign currency market. For a lot of people, I tell them, like, when you first get started with us, you're not expected to know. You don't sit in front of charts all day and graph things up. You don't sit in front of a chart and say, hey, I've got to watch the computer all day. When you first get started, we tell people you have to learn the lingo. When I tell you to put in a buy order, you have to know what that means. If I tell you to put in a sell order, you have to know what that means. And then at that point in time, it's as simple as this: copy, paste, and profit, right? Because what we do is we'll give you the answers. We'll say, hey, GBP USD, which is the Great British Pound being compared to the US dollar, right? We're going to say GBP USD is going up, which means we need you to put in a buy order. So we'll tell you when to enter the market. You select how much money that you want to put into that market, and then we'll give you 2 parameters. It's called a take profit and a stop loss. Your take profit means, hey, that thing is going up. When it hits the parameter that you want it to hit, let's just say you wanted to make $1,000 or you wanted to make $10,000, your broker will automatically pull you out of the market with your profit. Now your stop loss, the other parameter, is there to protect your assets. You're gonna say, there's always a risk to reward ratio. How much am I willing to risk in order to earn this reward? You know, so for simple math, let's just say it's $100, right? Some people are okay with like a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm willing to risk losing $50 with the intention of making 100, right? Where other people are going to say, no, I'm willing to lose, you know, $20 in order to make $100, you know? So we teach you that risk to reward ratio and balance for whatever is applicable to you. And then that stop loss that I was telling you about, you say, okay, I'm going to try to make $1,000 on this trade right now. I'm willing to risk losing $100. So we'll tell you exactly where to put your stop loss. So if the market goes the opposite direction that you thought it was going to, your broker is going to pull you out before you lose more than the money that you're willing to lose.
Right.
So you have to know, you know, there's a risk that it's going to go one way or another. But with what we do with our educators, right, you're not just going to hop on and say, okay, I'm going to guess that this market's going to go up, or I'm going to guess that this market's going to go down. You've got educators that are going to teach you and tell you, that are listening to the news. They say, hey, Donald Trump just tweeted X, Y, and Z. Therefore, the US dollar is going to go up, which means hop on right now, buy the US dollar, right? Or buy SPX 500, and then watch it skyrocket. When it hits your take profit, your broker pulls you out and you make money. Now that's Forex, right? Super simple. Copy, paste, and profit is what we try to teach everyone. Binary options, even easier. Binary options is probably the easiest way of making money I've ever made money.
Right. Hold on.
Because, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all right, evidently people, they can't just learn it all right here in this one episode. But but I don't know if you offer some way to like help people off, you know, on the side. But what is one place they should go? Like if I would say, if somebody was interested in real estate, I'd say go listen to this podcast. Or a certain podcast. What is some place somebody can find like the basics, like the lingo? Can you do that on YouTube?
Yeah, probably on YouTube, because I'll tell you what, Forex, it being the largest market in the world, because it's bigger than the stock market, it's bigger than the London markets, you know, it's bigger than Tokyo's banks. It's the largest market in the world, you know, so you're going to hop on YouTube, you type in Forex, you're going to see millions of videos, right? Just in our own business alone, we have almost 400,000 people just in our own business, right? The largest networking thing in the world right now. So it's going to be hard to hop on YouTube and find something that's actually going to be quality. And that's the reason we do the mentorship, is because you can go out there, and part of the mentorship isn't like, hey, you have to sign up to get information. You know, one of your listeners could say, hey, let me go find Jake really quick. Let me ask him a few questions. And my job is to answer everyone's questions. And now if they decide to join, then my job is to have my team develop them, train them, teach them everything that they need to know in order to be successful.
Okay. And what is the startup cost a person should be prepared to have to start investing in this for us?
So what I recommend most people to do, there's multiple different options, right? There's like a $235 option, then there's a $325 option. Now, $325, I only recommend to people that are advanced, right? And the reason why is because it can be overwhelming at times to take on that much information at one time. The $235 option, though, it's super simple, right? You pick one of the major things that you want to focus on. For us, it's Forex, right? Binary options, digital currency, and we launch e-commerce here in next month, right? So we'll be teaching people how to run their own e-commerce businesses as well. What we teach them to do is, like, you select one of those academies, and then we guide you through that, teach you to make money the fastest way possible. What I really put an emphasis on lately is binary options, because people are making money the fastest there. So they give the 235. They have access to the mentorship. They have access to our academies. They have access to our educators. They have access to all of our scanners. And our scanner is as simple as this. I'm going to go pull up a scanner, and my scanner will tell me exactly when to enter the market and exactly when to exit the market. And the scanners, right, are running at over 80% accuracy. When you go into binary options alone, our educators are averaging over 90% accuracy just from the educational standpoint. So you can hop online, right? Like, so tonight, in about 2.5 hours, me and a bunch of other people, we're going to all go hop on, and we're going to trade together. But all we're going to do is watch someone that has a lot more money than all of us, right? That's a professional in this. We're going to trade with them. And it's as simple as this. He's going to say, guys, I'm either going to call or I'm going to put. And what you have to do is either click a red button or click a green button. And if he's right, and he's going to give you a time frame, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. If he's right, you make money, right? So we don't even have to understand it fully ourselves, because we'll hop on with our educators and they'll tell you exactly what to do.
Wow. That's crazy, because
most people just make their money fast just by copying the professionals. That's how I made my money when I first got started.
No, man, I met a cool dude, man. It was probably about maybe like 7 months ago. But he was telling me about this, and it's basically, let me ask you this, if it's the same thing. Is there such thing as like fast key or quick key where you don't have to?
Not on this one. The one like what we do with the binary options, right? You got calls and puts, but there are a million brokers out there, right? And brokers all offer different things. Like for example, my broker, right, it's called IQ Sim. It's a really nice one. I really like it because it gives me options to do anything. I can double up my time if I have like a 60-second trade going, right? I can double up the amount of money if I think it's really going to go good. And for us, it's this simple. If there's going to be a value, right? It's going to say, hey, the value of this currency pair is right here, right now. In 60 seconds, you'll see a cool little blinking dot. It'll say in 60 seconds or 3 minutes, whatever time frame you select, is that blinking dot going to be higher or lower than it currently is? If you are right, you get paid, right? So even uneducated, you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. You throw the educators in it. I mean, I've been doing this now for almost 5 months, and we're averaging 92% accuracy when we're doing binary options, right? So 9 out of 10 times, we're winning those trades.
Wow. How much time are you spending on Forex a day, you think?
So me, when I first got started, I would say probably about an hour a day. Now, probably about 3 hours, 4 hours a week.
Oh, so you
got not much time. Yeah, no, it's lucrative with very little time, especially when you're copying or when you're just following along with our educators.
Wow.
It's not time consuming. Yeah. You know, one of the big things with Forex is people think you have to sit in front of charts all day, you know, that you have to read the charts. And it's not like that anymore. Now, if you want to go off and be an expert, then yeah, you'll definitely want to go off and learn to read those charts.
Right. Okay. This is crazy. All right.
It's a different world, man. It blew my mind when I first started.
Right. So do you think this is like, was you working a 9 to 5 before this, or are you still working 9 to 5 now?
Oh, no, this is my only job now.
Okay. And before Yeah.
I mean, good six-figure job as well, you know? So it's hard. It's a big difference going from a 9 to 5, you know, working for someone else, making good six-figure income to go to doing something like this and starting from scratch, you know? But me, I'm one of those guys, like I trust my work ethic. I trust my knowledge. I trust my team to get the job done. And so far, like I said, it's very lucrative in the last 4.5 months.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this. What's something that you use or in your everyday life that just makes your life easier? Some people, like, for instance, they'll be like, my house cleaning lady or
Mm-hmm.
my maid. What's something that you like that you use every day to make your life easier?
Every day that makes my life easier.
Like,
My air
like
conditioning. I don't like the heat. No, I think one of the things more recently that has been one of the things, you know, and I listen to a lot of people as well, that you need some kind of anchor, you know, something that's going to keep you on track, keep your life together. You know, fitness used to be my anchor that kind of helped keep me on track. Now, more recently, I think it's been reading and personal development that I use every day to either better myself or to help myself continue improving and stay on track. The personal development for me has been non-negotiable in
right.
the last couple of weeks.
It's basically you can't put a price on it.
You can't put a price on it, man. Like I said, I've worked my butt off for a long time, been very successful in everything I did, whether it was college, sports, my last careers, right? I excelled. I was at the pinnacle of all of them. But
Right.
at the same time, I did it through hard work. I am now improving even faster by not working as hard and just focusing more on my own personal development.
Right. So what does a typical day look like now that you don't work your job and you only spend 3 4 hours a week? That's a lot of time, spare time. Like,
Yeah. Well, most of my time is spent with mentoring people, right? So I like to meet with people. I like to talk with them, figure out what they've got going on, figure out how I can help them. But my day starts like this. I get up every day around 4 o'clock in the morning. I start doing my affirmations. I do my meditation. I go off and do my gratitude. And then at that point in time, I get up, take the dogs out, grab some breakfast. I have a very structured day, right? And then I'll have time that I need to spend on social media for my networking business. I have time that I need to spend doing my own personal development. I've got time cut out for workouts. So from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, my day is completely structured. But at the same time, I have to have wiggle room because my team needs me. But I'd say out of your regular 8-hour workday, the majority of my day is spent helping people, right? So for example, if you were on my team and you're like, Jake, I've got a problem. Jake, I have a question. Well, that becomes my top priority for the day. And if I have to push something else to the side for that, then my priority now is to help George become successful. So what I like to tell people, like my son asked me, my son asked me the other day, kind of, Dad, what is your job? What do you do? Right? He's 4. So he
right,
doesn't really know what's going on. Right? He just sees me talking to people. I told him simple. My job is to make other people money. Right? I get paid to make people money.
right.
It's that simple. Right? So my day is spent helping people, figuring out if I can help them become better, answering all their questions, making sure they're set up for success. My
Right.
success, my paychecks are highly predicated based off of the success of the people that I mentor. So in order for me to be successful, I have to create as many successful people as possible.
Okay, so if you was the, I think at the Catholic Church they got like a chapel where you talk to somebody like through the little peephole.
Yeah.
All right, if that guy was to say, all right, Jake, what do you think your purpose is on this earth? What would you say? Reply.
My very first one is to be a dad. Hands down, multiple people have said this to me, and I've always known it. I believe that God put me on this earth to be a dad, right? It wasn't necessarily, yes, it's going to be live my best life, become the best version of me. But I feel like because the way that I was raised, because of the childhood that I had, all the rough times growing up, was that my purpose is to do better for my kids and my family, and to be able to show them that, you know, you can do anything. And then let that residual effect continue to impact my family for generations.
Okay, so when do you think you discover, like, if you had a mind shift, like, I realized that's my purpose. When I'm a great dad, everything else kind of fall in place.
Hands down, hands down, you know, because when my kids are happy, I'm happy, I work better, my team works better, right?
All right.
But I'll tell you, like, from probably when I found out I was having a kid, my entire mindset completely changed. I was like, you know what? You can't do this anymore. You can't do that anymore. You're no longer doing this for yourself. Now you're doing it for someone else. You have people that rely on you, right? And I know what it's like to need people to rely on, to want to rely on someone and them not be there for that. And I was like, my kids will never have to experience that. If they need something, I'm there. And also with working this job, it makes it that much easier. If my kids need something, I work from home, right? I work from wherever I want. I mean, the other day I was working by the pool. I mean, a couple of weeks ago I was working by the beach. You know, I can work from wherever I want. So I could be with my family whenever I want. And I feel like that's one of those really big determining factors for me is that, you know, if I want to be the best me possible, I'm going to do it with my kids as well. And now being able to have that freedom to spend that time with them, right, really helps us develop that bond, which just continues allowing me to be better at my job.
Right. All right. So what would you tell this person? All right. I'm just making up a person. All right.
I love it.
This person, Bob, right? Bob is a great drummer. He's a world-class drummer, but he got like basically a house, family, cars. He got to maintain his bills. So, but he's like the best drummer, like Einstein drummer. How would you say that person should pursue that passion over reality?
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the big things that they talk about is your reality is going to come from what comes up here. You know, what I like to study with the law of attraction, and I know we wanted to stick more to like factual stuff, but one of the things that I'm studying like with the quantum physics is stuff like this. You've got two parts to your mind, your conscious and your subconscious, right? Your conscious is your thoughts, you know. So that drummer that you're talking about, he has thoughts to be this great drummer, doing all these other things, right? Therefore, his thoughts are all reflecting the success of being an amazing drummer, right? Which impacts his subconscious mind. And your subconscious isn't your thoughts, but it's your feelings, right? So if you're thinking about things that make you feel good, then you're going to start to feel that in your subconscious. Your subconscious is what controls your actions and makes you do things. So for example, right now, if you were to just say, hey, I want you, George, to start thinking about 10 of your most favorite things, right? 10 things that make you happy, 10 things that make you feel good, right? And you start to think about them, right, in your conscious mind. Your subconscious is going to respond. You're going to start to feel better, which means your actions and the way you uphold yourself or the way you present yourself or the things that you do are all going to be based off those positive emotions, right? So for that drummer that's going off and trying to figure out, like, how do I go and accept reality or real life versus how do I go off and continue to chase this dream, continue to chase the dream. And the reason why is because thoughts become things, right? So whatever you think about, you bring about. So if he's going to continue to think about those good thoughts, he's going to continue to think, Bob's going to continue to think about, hey, I need to feel good. And those feelings are going to get pushed out in there to reality, right? And he's going to attract more of those kind of things to him. So it's one of those things, like, if you've never seen the movie The Secret on Netflix, I highly recommend watching it, right? Because they go into details on all that stuff. You read the book Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the best ways of changing like your mindset, right? They talk about all those kinds of things in there. And to your normal person, it's like, it sounds like too good to be true. Right. Like it's too hard. And they tell everyone that, you know.
No, this what they call you, crazy.
Exactly. And that's one of the main quantum physicists in there says, you know, they're going to call you crazy. It's going to sound like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But then again, you're talking about some of the people that are some of the smartest and wealthiest people in the world that are telling us this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'll tell you what I've done in the past did not work fully for me. I'm going to take the advice from the people that are making a lot more money than me or a lot more successful from me. I'm going to try what they did.
Right. Damn. I get it. Hopefully everybody gets it. Yeah. All right. So what's your plan, like, goal for the next 5 years? Like, looking forward, where are you trying to be at in your life as far as your business?
Definitely. So for my business, I will be to the point where this is where I want to tell everyone I'm going to be in 5 years. That 99% of my income will come from 1% of my time, right? Damn near 100% of the money that I make is going to come from 1% of me spending time trying to make that money, right? The other 99% of my time is going to be spent with my family, doing things that I love doing things that I enjoy doing, being me, living my best life, right? While the 99% of my income is coming from residual income, money that's out there making itself, right? What am I going to have? You know, my goal, I don't need a mansion, but I want a good house, you know, and I've had a really nice house before, but I want to have a nice house. I'm going to have that nice car. You know, I want to be able to put my mom in a house, you know, retire her completely, you know, have my kids set up. You know, my kids both have savings accounts right now, but man, I want to see that savings account where they walk out when they're 18, they're walking out with some real life money that they can take care of themselves for a little while. I want in 5 years to create generational wealth, right? Where my kids, you know, and their kids can live off of something like that. to the point where my business is running itself completely, and that 99% of my focus can just be on me and my family, right? And then 1% of my focus is just taking care of the business. But my goal for my business and my aspirations is that the business is running itself, and only 1% of my time goes towards work in 5 years.
I'm gonna give you one advice.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
I got a notebook and pen too.
This name of your book. 1% working, 99% living. So basically, you start writing now how you living, you know, because that's crazy, man. I spend 99% of my money off 1% of my time. That's like killing the 80-20 rule, you know?
Exactly. You know, and that's what they talk about. You know, I work with and I deal with and I communicate with and converse back and forth with a lot of multimillionaires, people that make a lot of money, you know, and they'll tell you, like, you haven't made it until 99% of your income only comes from 1% of your time. Your average population, right? 96% of people in the world, their income comes from 100% of their effort, right? Their own effort. If they want a paycheck, that they want that paycheck on Friday or every other Friday, they have to go out and work for that. They're going to have to go work 40 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours, some of them with the less confining schedules, right? But 100% of that paycheck is dictated on if they did work or not, right? If they accomplished their job. For me, 99% of my paychecks, right, are dictated off the efforts of other people or the efforts of my business running itself.
Right.
And that's where you want your business to be, because that's true financial freedom, right? Because now you've got time freedom, you've got the finances to not have to worry about those kind of things, right? And another goal for mine, have more paychecks every month coming in than bills.
Mm-hmm. That's simple, right? More paychecks, that's
more paychecks
coming
than
in.
bills.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. These are like I guess you can call them the new American Dream favorite 5. Last 5.
I love it.
All right. If you could hang out with a person for a day, like a mentor, who would it be?
That's good. Any one mentor in the world. There's been a few, so I've listened to a few, but I think, you know, Bob Proctor's up there. Gandhi is one of the ones that are up there as well, because he's huge in the faith component of this. My own personal mentors, I'd love to meet with them, you know, for a day and spend that one day with them. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King, and the way he talks about, you know, you don't have to see the entire staircase. You know, all you got to do is take the first step and trust that the rest is going to unfold itself. But there's a lot of people. I mean, Bill Gates, you know, I mean, sit down and have a conversation with Bill Gates, someone like Albert Einstein, some of the greatest philosophers of all time. I'd love to sit down with any of those people and really get a good understanding of how they made it to where they are, right? Because they don't live their lives the same way that we do, right? They live in a completely different world mentally and emotionally than we'll ever live in, right? And I aspire to be like that someday.
Man, dang, I'm going to tell you somebody you need to watch tonight.
Let's hear it.
Get your whole family together and watch. It's on YouTube. You can go to Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe, and then you know how on YouTube it got like popular uploads. I think it's like the second one. It's basically on discovering your purpose. Watch the episode with your family, man. That guy,
your purpose.
Yeah, Miles Monroe is it's like the second. All his episodes are good. That's another guy like Martin Luther King. A lot of people don't. I don't know. The book was given to me, and I don't even know who gave it to me. You know, but it'll change your life. You'll be like, man, this guy should be here today. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. But all right. Best advice you give yourself when you was 25 years old that you didn't know.
Pay it forward. All right. Pay it forward. The reason I was capable of achieving all of the things that I was able to do wasn't necessarily just because I worked my butt off every day for it. You know, I couldn't afford to go to, like, I got recruited to an international rugby when I was 14 years old. I couldn't afford it, you know, but someone else saw that vision in me. Someone else, like, he can do this. He's going to do great things if given the opportunity. So they paid for my flight. They paid for my hotel. They paid for my academy and everything. I flew off halfway around the world and never been anywhere before. I just remember some poor guy growing up. I go to parts that I've never been to, and I'm like, wow, I'm really good at this. And it continued to escalate. So they end up buying my shoes for me. They help pay for my cleats. They help pay for my mouth guards. They paid for me to continue to going to international academies and all-stars and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Until finally I go to college. And then when I'm headed off to Berkeley, I go to the guy that helped me out a bunch. I'm like, hey man, the last 3 years, you made my life easy. You are one of the main reasons I'm able to go off and do this. How can someone like me that has nothing be able to pay you back? And it's like, you don't. You do it for someone else someday, right? So me, the way that I think that guy from, me 15, 16, 17 years old, now sitting at 29 years old, isn't to go back and pay him back, but it's to duplicate that for as many people as possible that I can. Let me see how many people that I can impact, because, and you'll hear this when you start studying philosophy and psychology, is that the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, or the biggest impression that you can leave on the world, right, is to impact other people. And that's really what I want. Like 25-year-old me knew that, right? But 29-year-old me now knows it 10 times more than I ever have.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
All right. And when you were saying that, I was thinking about one of the things Miles Monroe say is a true leader don't need followers. Exactly. Right? But followers gonna always follow a true leader.
Exactly.
So a lot of jobs like Walmart, Target, these people that are managers, a manager and a leader are two different things.
Completely.
A manager, maybe I'm good at managing shoes, or maybe I'm good at managing the baker in the back. But a true leader can be the person that's in with the employees, but people are following him because they're going in the right direction.
Exactly. Now, a manager is there to regulate. A manager is there to delegate. A manager is there to, make sure the rules are being played by, all those kind of things. A leader, one of my favorite little sayings about a leader is someone that, without them, the current situation would no longer have existed, right? That they have the ability to make those around them better and more productive. For example, if I was leading my team, right, a true leader says, without that leader, right, could my team still be as successful? I want to be the person that's able to impact all of those people and have that huge impact on them, and then try to duplicate more leaders within themselves. My goal as a leader is to create success within other people, right? That's my idea of a leader, right? Create something that would no longer or wouldn't exist without my presence, right? And then be able to create that within other people so they can go off and do the same thing.
Right. Dang. So that's what I was saying for young people that's on Instagram. They, hey, follow me, right? They want followers. But a true leader don't have to ask for followers. So
exactly.
That's why I want people to understand. Like, just because you got 1 million followers don't mean you're a leader.
Exactly.
Especially if you're paying or, like, just begging for somebody to follow you.
Exactly.
And that's why I think we need more Martin Luther Kings right now,
Yeah, we need more of a lot of good people that are no longer with us. I mean, I was having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day. I can only imagine, if the Albert Einsteins or Martin Luther King or Plato, if any of those people were alive today, the things that they would probably be able to accomplish. I mean, we wouldn't stand a chance against some of those people.
Definitely not. All right. One book that impacted your life.
Well, there's a few, but I will say one of the biggest ones most recently, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, yeah. And the reason why is because I've read a lot of books, going to college and studying a lot of different things. I've read a lot of books, none of which really fully, hit me.
Right.
But this one here, in combination with watching The Secret and reading Think and Grow Rich, hands down, it's like, my why has changed. The reason that I do things and my approach to things has changed drastically. Anyone that aspires for more, right? And this is coming from a guy that grew up poor in the ghetto with nothing except for, my 2 hands to try to make my life work, right? Now I'm reading this book that's all about mindset and development. I'm seeing more progress in my finances, my mental state, than I have in the last 29 years. I've seen more personal growth from reading this book the last 2 weeks than I've seen in the 29 years prior to.
Wow. What is your why now?
My kids, my family.
Okay.
So it's a big friendly reminder for me that, my why, they say your why should make you cry, right? Why do you do it? Why do you do it is that you do?
Dang, hold on. You can't just go by that. I was thinking, why should make you cry? And
exactly.
That's where the leaders come at. They said people who like really good at something or love something really bad, usually they can't tolerate it. So say I'm an advocate for don't kill fur animals. That'll make me cry if you kill fur animals. But my passion and love for it You know what I mean? That's what makes me so powerful, because I can't tolerate bull crap.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So
That's the same for me. Your why should make you cry. If I let down my kids, I would feel disappointed. If I let down my family and my family didn't have a roof over their head and food in their stomach, I would feel like I failed, right? So my why, it's got to be something that gets you out of bed. It's got to be what gets you excited to work. It's got to be what gets you excited to grow yourself, change yourself, develop yourself, right? And if whatever reason you're going to work for, like, oh shit, I'm going to pay the bills, that's not your why, right? That's a byproduct of the actions that you're doing, right? Your why needs to be something that is so far out there and so meaningful to you that when those days get rough, right? And everyone's like, oh, I need motivation. Bullshit, right? You don't need motivation. What you need is a strong why and a strong purpose to keep going, that willpower to continue to push on, right? And that's what, my kids and my family supply to me, is that if I'm sick, I just got the cold yesterday. So I've been stuffy and all kinds of nasty stuff. Good timing, right? Right before your show.
right.
But I've been dealing with that, but I don't have the luxury of not working, because my why gets me out of bed. My why keeps me going when I'm tired. It's going to continue to allow me to continue to be successful. It's going to allow me to push for further things. But if your why isn't strong enough, if your purpose isn't strong enough, don't expect the results to match.
Dang. I think I figure out, because one of my whys, people always call me for places to stay, like they looking for a place to rent, and it's always the same answer: I don't have nothing right now. It hurt me, you know what I mean? Because it's nowhere, like, for some reason it's a shortage of affordable homes in an affordable price range that still look good. You get what I'm saying? So like
Right.
when I basically when I told God, like, I'm gonna start doing real estate, I was like, but I'm gonna have nice homes with green grass but affordable prices. I'm not gonna, like, say the max is 1,500. Like, I'm not gonna just try to get 15, 16, 1,700. I'm gonna try to keep it affordable so people can have luxury, not luxury, but safe place to live.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
So what are your hobbies outside of like your kids and Forex? If you got 99% of your time for the day, what are you doing?
Yeah, so a lot of mine like my hobbies now include reading, right? Exercising, my dogs. I don't watch TV much except for the Secret, a movie, The Secret, or I hop on YouTube to watch a couple things. Like, I love watching a bunch of Kobe Bryant's old speeches. I love listening to Tony Robbins speeches. I love listening to Les Brown, right? That's really the only time I'm on TV. But me and my hobbies, and it's going to sound cliche, right? Especially after everything that we talked about, but my hobbies now consist of developing myself and developing my people, right? So people will figure out, and this is one conversation that I had with quite a few people the other day, that you either have work-life balance, right? Or a good combination between, okay, when do I put down work and stop for the day, and when do I get to real life, versus work-life integration, right? Me, I don't have to balance work and life anymore. My work is completely integrated in with my life. So if any point in time I wanted to stop working at that very second and go off and do family stuff, I can stop and go off and do family stuff. And if 2 seconds later I got to hop back into work, I can sit here and work with my kid on my lap, because my work life is completely integrated. Therefore, my hobbies usually have something to do with developing my family, developing myself, or developing my business, right? If it doesn't have anything to do with my personal growth, the growth of my team, my mental growth, the health and safety and growth of my family, odds are I'm probably not partaking in it.
Right. Dang.
Yeah.
Your work could be considered being a dad. That's how,
hands down, 100%.
Because you're doing your purpose. You taking care of your family, So exactly. A lot of people don't realize, like, even me, since I quit my job, my wife, she still work, but she's like, you always working. But like one of my buddies told me, like, George, real estate is a lifestyle for you now. So it's like, it's not like I can turn on and turn off. Like, this is
it's
what
integrated.
It's integrated.
For example, just like me, it's no longer a work-life balance anymore. It's work-life integration.
Yeah, it's your lifestyle.
Exactly. I tell my girlfriend the same thing. Like, we have date nights. It's like our date nights. We set work aside and stuff like that, but we're able to have mature conversations that are regarding how is your development going, how is your business going, because she has her own business as well. So we're allowed to have those kind of conversations, where we sit down and I want to sit down and, like, go grab a group of my friends. Me and my friends aren't going out to the bars. We're not going out to the clubs. When my friends come over here, for example, or I go over to there, we're talking about development. We're talking about work. Me and my circle aren't talking about, okay, what are we going to do this weekend? Me and my circle are talking about how are we going to get rich the next couple of years. So everything about my life right now, whether it's my family, my friends, or myself, is all about who am I going to be in 5 years.
Wow, that is it. All right, Jake, let the people know where they can find you at if they want to contact you, get mentors, sign up, and just find out more information about you. Where do they go?
So on Instagram, super simple. It's at Jake Wrobel, Jake, last name Wrobel, Wrobel. So Jake Wrobel. I have a business page that I do I've got a lot of people running it for me. It's at Billionaire Inc. as well. But you could also reach me on my cell phone via Telegram, WhatsApp, text message, cell phone call, whatever it may be. Area code 916-838-9403. I'm willing to talk to anyone through social media. I'm willing to talk to anyone through text, through phone call. We can even hop on a Zoom call. Whatever is the most convenient way for you, just know that when we talk, I'm just there to inform. I'm there to share an opportunity. I'm there to share knowledge. I'm not going to try to sell anyone anything. I'm not going to try to get anyone to sign up for anything. My job is to mentor people, guide people, and just share an opportunity.
Hey, listen. In the next 5 years, my goal is if you give out your phone number on my podcast, you basically have to throw that phone away because it's not going to stop ringing.
Boom, baby. I hope it blows up. And I'll tell you what, George, if I get a bunch of your people, you and I reconnect, one thing that I do, right, is I pay it forward to someone. Right. I was able to impact you someday. This is what I tell my mentees. They're like, Jake, how do I pay you back for everything that you do? You don't pay me back, right? Yeah. You do it for the next person. So, George, if I'm able to impact you and you're able to impact me, I guarantee you, I promise my people will continue to do it for the next people.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, George. Thank you, man. You're